All right, welcome back, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So today we are going to be taking a look at the DC Multi-Universe McFarlane Toys 3 Jokers Red Hood. Now, before we get started taking a look at this figure, as usual, let's take a look at his accessories. All right, so this is the one and the only accessory that this guy comes with. He does not come with pistols. He does not come with any guns. So the gun that you see in his hand is actually from a Cobra Alley Viper, and the crowbar that you see in his hand is actually from a the Bag of Violence. This is a crowbar that he comes with. It's just a simple, casted in a dark silver type of color, and that's it. And that's his crowbar. Now, moving on to this figure, as you can see, I have the crowbar from the Bag of Violence, and I have the Alley Viper's submachine gun in his hand. This figure should have came with 2 sidearms. Yeah, but he didn't. Anyway, moving on. Let's have a look at this guy. Let's get these out of his hands. But they are great accessories to have for this guy. This took a little bit of doing to get into his hand, but I got it in there, and it looks good. It looks really good. All right, so as I'm going to say before I get into the articulation of this guy, I just want to do a quick shout out. I want to say check out Mike Morgan. Check out his page. He's a content creator. He has some good stuff. You can check him out on Instagram. You can check him out on YouTube. And Big Gamer 9000, check him out. He has some good content as far as video games and stuff like that. Check them out. They are good content creators. Give them a look-see. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy their content the way I do. Now, as far as this guy here, let's take a look at the actual paint sculpt. So as far as the Red Hood's paint sculpt, it's a nice candy apple looking red. It's a cool head sculpt for Red Hood. It would have been cool if they would have made a cloth hood. They didn't. So anybody out there, you know, Harker Customs, anybody like that, that would be cool if you wanted it. It's fine like this. I like the way they did the Red Hood coming down. As far as the paint on this guy, yeah, he's cool. It's done very nice. I like the way the white shows up, and then you have the black around the eyes. Not a whole lot of paint slop. I don't have nicks and scrapes or anything like that. And I like the way like I said, the candy apple red comes out. Very nice. I hope it's coming through on camera the way it looks in person. Mine looks like, you know, little hairline fracture going through. But that's neither here nor there. It gives it actually some life, some detail. I like the way he has the brow look going across, that detail right there. So this detail that goes through the mask, it actually gives him some sort of expression. I know he doesn't have the lines coming down the way the other Red Hood does, but hey, this guy is cool. All right, so moving on to his jacket. So you have the hood painted red, not a whole lot of paint sculpt on there, and then you have his black leather jacket. This is not the brown leather jacket. I like this black leather jacket version, very nice. It's a soft plastic, so you can remove it. The only problem is that if you remove it, now you have these jacket sleeves, which I guess that would be all right. I don't know if you know how it would look, but I guess it would be okay, considering I do believe that his arms, you know, if you took off the jacket, I think they're black anyway, right? The suit underneath, the bodysuit underneath is all black. Now his armor, which is kind of the reminiscence of his Robin outfit, he has the lines. He does not have the bat going across the chest, which would have been cool. But like I said, they did a nice job when it comes to this figure. I like the leathering that they did on the actual leather jacket itself. Gave it some life. Then you have the buckles down here below on the belt of the jacket. but they're not painted in. It would have been cool if they would have just put a little bit of paint on the zipper, you know, just brought it to life. I guess I can do that. I guess I can custom do it if I get in the mood. Put a little bit of paint on there, bring it to life. Now, going down the arms, as you can see, you have, you know, the leathering effect all the way down to his gloves. So you have his, you know, gloves with the knuckles on them, and then around the wrist here. And then moving down to the torso, you have his belt, and you have his clip with no paint on it or anything like that. Then down to his pants, which, you know, it's a stiff plastic. You have, you know, some wrinkles going through, and then moving down to his armor. So you have his knee pads on here. Then you get down to his shin pads. I don't know what they were thinking here, but yeah, you have a shiny black plastic, and then you have a dull black plastic. I don't know if it was just mist or what. And then moving down to his boots. So on his boots, you have the red lines going across down here, and then some shiny black plastic around the ankle, which one side is actually flatter than the other. So it's like they just kind of gave up on making sure that, you know, that it matches. Unless it's supposed to be that way, I'm not sure. So if anybody knows, leave a comment down below and let me know. As far as the boots, the rest of the boot comes down, and then you have, you know, the straps that go across the top. And that's pretty much it, you know, as far as our, you know, the look of this guy. Now, as far as articulation, it's typical McFarlane articulation, and I have stressed my voice on the way that these guys are articulated. Now, this guy's not too bad. I've been putting him through the mill. So let's take a good look at some of the articulation that this guy has, and you know, I will do some poses, and I will put those in some photos at the end of the video. So let me get going so this doesn't get too long. So typical, you can only look up that much. For a guy like Red Hood, you'd want him to look up pretty far. He does not. He can look down that far. His head can tilt side to side, and he can look side to side. Now, as far as bringing his arms out, like I said, I've been putting this guy through it. You can get his arms to go out that far. That's not an issue whatsoever. He has a bicep swivel, and he has double jointed elbows. Now, the elbows, you know, are always stiff, as most McFarlane figures are. Big, huge break here, but whatever, at least you can get this range, and it comes in handy for when you are posing him. Swivel at the wrist, and not so much of a wrist bend or tilt or anything like that because of this whole part of his glove. All right, now going down to his torso, he has a torso crunch, I should say, or there's a dumbbell in there, dumbbell joint, but he has a torso swivel, and he has the torso crunch. Then he has a slight ab crunch at the bottom, but he does have the waist swivel. So all of that works together, and it works really well with this guy. Now, as far as the legs, yeah, he can do the splits. Boy, can he. He can do some crazy splits. His leg can go up that far. His leg can move back that far, which isn't bad. Now, as far as an upper thigh swivel, no. You just have kind of a slight swivel in that hip joint up there, but no thigh swivel. They could have, you know, right here put like a thigh swivel for it to move. That is one of my pet peeves when it comes to McFarlane figures, that where's that articulation? You know, where's that articulation? It's just a, you know, a chance to make these figures better. Now, as far as the joints in the knees, he has double jointed knees, and then, you know, the back of the boot stops it. So that's as far as you get. Not bad, not bad at all, but just still, once again, standard McFarlane articulation. Then going down to the actual ankle joints, his foot can pivot this far forward and pivot that far backwards, and then he has his ankle tilt side to side, which is crazy, which is, you know, always crazy. And then you have his boot hinge, his toe hinge, I should say, on him. So yeah, that is the articulation of these figures. Now, before we get into the pros and cons of this guy, let's take a look on how he is with, how he compares with some other McFarlane figures that we have, and then I'll go into the closing remarks that I'll have. Here's how he compares to McFarlane Toys' Damian Wayne as Robin. Here's how he compares to McFarlane Toys' DC Universe Harley Quinn. And here's how he compares to the comedian McFarlane Toys' 3 Jokers. And here's how he compares to the one, the only McFarlane Toys DC Multi-Universe BatMan. And this is how he compares with everyone around him. All right, so with everything that's been said about this figure, I just want to say the pros of this guy. I have to say that he is easier to pose than most McFarlane Toys figures, hands down. I can get this guy to pose in a lot of different poses, which is great because that's what you want to do. Some of them are dynamic, fantastic. It took some doing, but I was able to do so. He's a lot better than the Dark Side, where his forearm fell off and all sorts of jazz. I had just a whole lot of problems with that guy, so it's just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so as far as the cons, okay, so cons, I just want to say no wrist articulation except for the swivel because of the actual back part of the gloves here. For such a good figure, man, come on. You're killing me with this, McFarlane, you're killing me. And then no thigh swivel on any of them. They just don't have thigh swivels. I mean, yeah, I guess you don't want to break up the articulation of the figure or the sculpt, whatever. Dude, come on, man. You know, you're talking about Batman, you're talking about Robin, you're talking about Harley Quinn, you're talking about Superman, you're talking about, you know, Red Wing, Nightwing, Red Hood. I don't care who it is. People want to put them in those dynamic poses, man. I mean, you just don't want to have to put them in some kind of stiff pose and leave them. I mean, come on. But hey, only time will tell. If you're out there, you're listening, it's just a critique. It's just my opinion, and you know how opinions are. But hey, if you get a chance, guys, pick this guy up. He's a cool addition to your shelf. To your not Marvel Universe. I apologize because I have Marvel Universe characters in the back. To your DC Universe, or mingle them both together. There's no problem with that whatsoever. To mix and match, it actually makes for a cool universe. Matter of fact, the Marvelverse DC comics. There you go. If you haven't had a chance to read that, guys, go read that, man. That was a great story. I enjoyed that story when I was younger. Yeah. So with that being said, guys, that's going to bring this review to its end. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave comments down below. And sharing the videos gets the YouTube algorithm moving, so it gets more of these videos out there, and I can keep doing this. Guys, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for taking the time out to watch these videos. And yeah, with that being said, guys, you know it. I'll catch you on the flippity flip.